What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dominic Rich, and I have my regular guest, Football Pharaoh, with me to talk about the current standings in the South American World Cup qualifiers, or officially known as Conmebol. There's 10 teams in Conmebol, and the first 4 teams goes through, and the fifth team would actually qualify for the playoff, intercontinental playoff. Am I right with that one?
Yes, indeed. 4 direct, fifth goes to a playoff against a side from another confederation.
All right. Football Pharaoh, how are you feeling today, man?
Pretty good. Happy Friday to you, everybody watching this, or Saturday, wherever you are in the world. Happy to be back yet again. Let's get right into it. I'm excited.
Most definitely. So, 10 nations from South America, only 4 gets direct qualification. 1 goes to the playoffs, as we mentioned. I made predictions. My predictions were late after 4 games, but we've since had another good bit of games. I can't remember the exact amount. I think it's about 5 to 4 more. I think it was 4 more games we got. And we are almost I think 9 games. Yeah, we are almost halfway through Conmebol World Cup qualifiers, and the table is shaping up very, very nicely. So if you check the standings right now, at the top of the table is Brazil after 6 games. Well, I was wrong. It's only 6 games played. Goddamn, I'm way ahead of myself here.
One
So,
third. We're exactly
yeah,
one third.
exactly one
It's a
third.
good number. It's a good number.
So Brazil are running away with it with 18 points after 6 games. This is quite impressive. Any thoughts on Brazil before we continue on this table?
Steamrolling. Um, they have not lost a competitive game against other South American opposition ever since Tite came in charge back in 2016.
That
That's a
is
huge stat. Yeah.
that's a golden nugget, man. I wish I had that button, man, to just push the golden nugget across the screen, because that is huge.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Brazil to actually top the standings and go into the World Cup once again. Remember the last cycle, they actually broke the record for the most points accumulated in any Conmebol World Cup qualifiers. That was simply amazing, man. And just the caliber of players that they keep producing time and time again, it seems like it's a never-ending thing. And this has been going on since God knows when, since the inception of the World Cup. So Brazil, no surprise, they're at the top, plus 14 goal difference, only 2 goals conceded, best attack, best defense, and they're just the best team in CONCACAF. Conmebol, hands down. I'm still in CONCACAF mode, as you can tell. So, second in the table is they who shall not be named, Argentina, doing pretty well. Aquafina, as you called them last time around, they have 12 points. They 0 losses, 3 draws, and 3 wins. How are you feeling about them?
You know what? Since the end of the last Copa America, this team is actually looking a little bit better under Lionel Scaloni, their manager. They had an opportunity to get all 3 points in that last match against Colombia. They relented a 2-goal lead. They could be sitting on 14 points. It's really good that Argentina are undefeated in this group and they're in a somewhat healthy second. I think that they might be finally finding some form after a good while.
I think Scaloni is getting his selection right. I think before, with the large pool of players available, the previous managers were not getting it right. And now, as I mentioned in my prediction video, Scaloni is getting it right. And so far, Argentina second. That's who I predicted to come in second. So good, for everything's looking good for Argentina. And Lionel Messi, because, it would be a travesty if he does miss out on a World Cup qualification. And it almost happened the last time around, but it seems like Argentina are on course to qualify. Remember, most teams that qualified last time around got about 25 to 27 points. So
Mm-hmm.
Argentina has picked up half of that already, and unless there's something catastrophic happen, they're on course to get 30 plus points and waltz into Qatar 2022. Next up, we have Ecuador, who has fallen off a bit, losing both their games in the June international break. They started off pretty good, and they won 9 points, but now they're still third, which means they have a long time between now and September. I think is the next international break for World Cup qualifiers to assess what went wrong and come back again because Ecuador, I I predicted to place fifth and actually enter the playoff spot because they're looking good. They are looking refreshed. A lot of new players. They have a new badge and all, new manager, and it's just a team that's looking very resurgent because we know Ecuadorian teams of old pretty damn good. And in fourth, any thoughts on Ecuador though?
Before qualifying started, I did not rate their chances. I did not have them qualifying, but they got off to a very decent start. They have dropped off after losing their two games in this window. I think the question for them to look out for is will they capitulate the same way they did 4 years ago? Because they had a really great start in the 2018 World Cup qualifying cycle. I remember they got something like 13 out of the 15 available points. They won their first four games. And then they ended that campaign by losing, get this, all six of their final games. It just
Terrible.
a complete horrible, maybe the biggest collapse in World Cup qualifying history. So, this squad, it's very early, though. We still have a lot of match days. I'm interested to see how they do. I think they're a decent shout to make it back to the World Cup. We'll have to see. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, 12 match days to go, and Ecuador, they haven't think they haven't been to the World Cup for quite some time, quite some time. So they got to get their act together. It seems like there was a little unrest within the football federation, and they getting their act together. So
I
Uruguay,
also I also give Ecuador a little bit. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, it's cool.
I also give them a little bit of a pass because one of their games this break was against Brazil, and that speaks for itself. Brazil's Brazil.
Yeah. So we will touch on the games after we just run through the table. We'll touch on the games that were played in June because there were supposed to be games in March, but those were postponed. And I was kind of happy that those games are postponed of because of the schedule, man. The schedule these days is so hectic. And when there's Asian qualifiers to talk about, CONCACAF, there's Euros going on right now. There's a Copa America coming up. There's so much to actually talk about that sometimes you lose track of what's going on. So I'm glad it got postponed and we could actually chop it up about these Conmebol World Cup qualifiers right now. So Uruguay are fourth. They made it to the last World Cup. Ecuador didn't, and they have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. So pretty solid start. Pretty solid start. Still early. So things could either go on the up or things could, you know, wither away. But Uruguay are very powerful and they have a good roster and they still under Oscar Tabarez, 74 years young. And I think they'll be all right because I have Uruguay to come in fourth and take one of those direct spots, and they are exactly in fourth place right now. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, with 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses, that's a relatively steady, if not ideal, start for them. Um, they would have felt like they could have gotten the full 3 points in that match against Paraguay. They had a goal that was ruled, I believe, offside, and it was a very controversial call because there's a whole question whether VAR, the review, got it right. They took 2 points from this international window. I know we'll get to like that later, but Uruguay is always a strong team in South America. They're going to be in contention to make it to a fourth consecutive World Cup. And will they get there in the end? I think they should. I think their quality should see them through when everything's said and done. And Fun fact about Oscar Tabarez: I think he is currently the longest serving national team coach in the world right now. He's been in charge of the side since 2006. I think he beats out Yogi Low by a few months.
Yeah, very very good. Golden nugget again. National team managers don't really last that long. No manager period lasts that long. So for guys like Yoki Love and Oscar Tabarez, who's been managing their countries for 15 years, you got to take your hats off to them, man. Even though they go through lackluster periods, still worth mentioning. In fifth, we have Colombia. I actually have Colombia coming in third. They have 8 points, same record as Uruguay with an inferior goal difference. However, because of the amount of goals they conceded, and Colombia, large talent pool as well, just like Uruguay. Did I say? I keep mixing up Ecuador and Uruguay. I can't even remember if I said Uruguay or Ecuador, but I always do that. But Colombia, I think they should make it to the World Cup again. They're under new management once again. I Last time I did a video, I had Carlos Queiroz down, but he has since left the post. So it's just so we're just talking about the management and everything, and it's so difficult to keep track of who's in charge of who. And right now for Colombia, they have Ronald Rueda in charge. Ronaldo Rueda. And I remember he was in charge of one of these. Wasn't he in charge of one of these Central American teams? Yep. I think so.
Yeah,
Honduras.
yeah. I think he coached Honduras in 2010 at that World Cup, and he actually was in charge of Chile
Yeah.
shortly before taking over Colombia. Yep.
Yeah. So, and he was in charge of Ecuador as well. Previously in charge of Colombia. He is born in Colombia as well. So it's difficult to keep track of these managers, but I think Colombia. It's going to be a tight race at the top, though. Very, very tight race. Maybe not at the top. Let me rephrase. Between third and fifth, there's going to be a tight race there. I think Argentina and Brazil should run away with qualifiers. Paraguay, we have in sixth position. Paraguay with 1 win, 4 draws. That's not bad. And only a solitary loss. And they have 7 points right about now. I do not have Paraguay qualifying for the World Cup. What are your thoughts on Paraguay?
Yeah, it took 6 match days for them to finally lose, and it came against, once again, a very class Brazil team that are on another level. Another golden nugget. I read somewhere that was their loss at home to Brazil. That was the first time Brazil has beaten Paraguay on the road in over 30 years.
Wow.
So Paraguay, they're always a very stubborn South American team. Remember, they had that generation that made the quarters in South Africa 2010. They missed the last 2 World Cup. I agree with you. I think they're going to miss out this time around, but they're going to be in it all the way till the end. They're not going to be bottom dwellers of this table by any means.
Yep, still very they still have a few talented players around, Miguel Almiron, the Romero twins, they still Fabian Balbuena, still got some talent, but no one that's, no big names really that would, intimidate opposition teams in South America. But this is South America. We know the battles are intense and is very, very difficult to predict. So Paraguay could well go on to pick up the playoff spot. We can't tell, but this is just from our assessment. Chile, they are currently 7th. I don't have them qualifying. I have them missing out on another World Cup. They have 1 win, 3 draws, and 2 losses with 6 points. I think, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like the talent pool has dried up. I still see Gary Medel and a lot of these guys that's been around for a while playing for Chile. Picked up a 1-1 draw against Bolivia in their last game. Eric Pulgar scored, and he has been one of them who has came through from like a newer generation. So that's a good sign. Claudio Bravo's still in goal. So there's same names: Eduardo Vargas, Alexis Sanchez, Isla. So it would take a lot for this team to actually come through qualifiers and make it to the World Cup. Guy, you've seen games like Bocejor. Where's the new stars from Chile? You see what I'm
Right.
saying? I
Right.
think Arturo Vidal is currently injured as well. That's why he's not involved. But where's the current new crop of, where's the new golden generation of Chilean players?
Yeah, I think as far as Chile goes, if they were to be able to pull off one last hurrah and make it to Qatar, it's pretty much bye bye after that. I don't see very many. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't see another generation coming through to replicate what this side achieved. A lot of these Chilean guys that won back-to-back Copa Americas, they
Yep.
came through the youth system back during the late 2000s, the youth level and under 20, under 17 World Cups. Chile, I think they're in trouble. I think that they're not fine. They're not going to have an adequate replacement for these guys once they sail off into the sunset. And could they come through and qualify for this tournament? Yeah, sure, but they have some inconsistent results. It was really good of them to go away last week and get a draw on Argentina. Then my goodness, they dropped points at home against Bolivia, a team they should be beating. So
Exactly. So next up in the table, we have the aforementioned Bolivia. 5 points. Not bad at all for Bolivia. 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses. They haven't qualified since 1994. They are one of the most difficult away teams to play against, playing at the altitude. And I don't see them making it, but they would always be that team that could be that banana skin for example, Chile going there. Well, at home, Chile at home, dropping points. You see what I mean? And Bolivia have picked up 2 draws, so exactly my point.
yeah, this was a decent window for Bolivia. Like you, I don't think they're going to qualify. Their wait to make it back to their first World Cup since 1994, I think, is going to continue. But by their own standards, it's not a bad start at all. I mean, only lost half of the games that have been played so far, and they are very likely, in my view, going to play spoiler in preventing some other teams in this group from making it. So, and yes, of course, in La Paz, it's always a bitch of an away venue to
Yep.
go to.
Yep, that guy Marcelo Moreno is a star, man. I remember the last time
Yep.
for 2018 I was doing some research, some analysis on the teams, and he was one of them that I definitely noticed. And he has that legendary type look with the long hair and the face. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Marcelo Martins Moreno, Triple
yep,
M.
he actually scored a brace to beat Venezuela. So it was a very good window for Bolivia where they picked up 4 points. So let us see how far they could, if they could actually challenge for that 5th spot. Because you never know, man. In Conmebol, you never ever know, man. Especially with COVID-19 going around, teams could be depleted and still have to fill the schedule as well. So you never ever know. Next up, we have Bolivia with Venezuela with 4 points. Pardon me, 1 win, 1 draw, and 4 losses. Then yet again, I do not expect Venezuela to qualify. They did do well at the back end of the last World Cup qualification cycle, playing spoil sport on the last match day to I think that was Paraguay, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. I think it was Paraguay they beat. Paraguay were in a position to get some.
Yeah.
I don't quote me on it, but I think some similar. I think something like that. They were on course to actually qualify Paraguay, and I think they played Venezuela. Let me just look that up real quick. I think I could get back to World Cup 2018 really quick, and they played sport. Yep.
Yeah,
World
Paraguay were
It was
in a
Paraguay,
position.
right?
In a way, I think Paraguay lost that game in Asuncion, didn't they? It was a home game.
I remember the last match day for World Cup qualifiers, it was yes, it was Paraguay. It was a 1-0 October 10th, 2017. It was a 1-0 win for Venezuela. And Venezuela was the away team. So yeah, definitely on point with that one. You see what I'm saying? My memory isn't the greatest, but still, I remember that match day like it was nothing. Remember, Argentina was in trouble as well, and Messi came up. I think Messi scored a hat trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Argentina was trailing.
Exactly. So that last match there was epic. So hopefully we get something like that again. And at the bottom of the table, disappointingly, it's Peru, who I do not have qualifying for the 2022 World Cup. I actually have Peru in 6th place, so it's still early times. It's very close in the table, same amount of points as Venezuela, but it's very very disappointing from the last Copa America finalist there. That was 2019 Copa America finalist Peru, who impressed at that tournament after getting back to the World Cup since in 37 years it was. So you got to give it to Peru still. They still have the same bunch of players. It's pretty much the same crop of players, maybe a few new additions, but no notable additions. But still guys like Paulo Guerrera, Advincula, Yoshima Yutun, Galesi in goal. It's just pretty much the same bunch of guys. They got battered 3-0 by Colombia in the last match day. What are your thoughts on Peru?
The biggest disappointment. Before any ball was kicked off, I had them qualifying in 4th. And, they got off to a really bad start in the last cycle, and they came back towards like the last quartet of games to mount a huge surge to qualify for Russia, kind of like the reverse Ecuador of that cycle. And they could look, they still could do it here, but they're really up against it. I think they were the last team in South America to notch up their first win in this break, where they beat Ecuador on the road. Let's see here. What's their record? 1 win, 1 draw, and 4 losses, 4 points, bottom of the table. They got a lot of work to make up. There's still time, and they have the quality to do it. But it looks like it's going to be a squeaker again if they do make it back to a second successive tournament. We'll see. But as far as like an updated prediction, I think they're going to miss out.
Yeah, I think they'll miss out as well. So if we look at some games that were recently played, we talk about the table, just look at some games that were recently played. You go back to the last window from November. We could touch on the November window briefly and then maybe elaborate some more on the June window. So if we go back to the November window, which is right here, all the way back to November 12th, we had Bolivia losing at home 3-2 to Ecuador, 1-1 draw between Paraguay and Argentina. Uruguay beating Colombia on the road. Chile beating Peru 2-0. Brazil beating Venezuela 1-0. And we had Ecuador. What about this result, though? Ecuador beating Colombia 6-1. That was very impressive, though.
Yeah, it was. That was a proper thumping. I don't recall if Rueda was in charge at that point. He might not have been. But I think this was not too long after Carlos Queiroz was sacked. Or actually, this may have been the game that led to his sacking. I'm not sure. The former Iran manager and Portuguese national Carlos Queiroz. But yeah, that was a massive result for Ecuador. I was a little bit unexpected. Not that they necessarily won it, but by such a margin, yeah.
Yeah, Queiroz was actually in charge in this game. So.
No wonder he's gone now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the last game for Carlos Queiroz, actually.
What a way to go out.
That's a really, really bad way to go out, man. So we have other results here. Venezuela 2-1 over Chile. Brazil 2-0 over Uruguay. Paraguay and Bolivia playing to a 2-2 draw. Bolivia once again playing spoil sport. Argentina beating Peru 2-0 on the road. Then we have games from June, the June international break. Those ones I could elaborate on a bit more in terms of giving you guys some more, details. So Bolivia 3, Venezuela 1. Marcelo Martins Moreno with a brace. Diego Berra Arano with a goal, and John Chancellor scored the only goal for Venezuela. Bolivia with the big 3 points. Uruguay and Paraguay played to a 0-0 draw, shared the points. Argentina and Chile, a 1-1 draw. Messi with a 24th minute penalty. Alexis Sanchez with a 36-minute equalizer to get Chile a point on the road. Peru lost at home 3-0 to Colombia with Yerimina, Mateus Uribe, and Luis Diaz, the impressive winger who plays for Porto, scored the goals. Daniel Munoz and Miguel Traco got sent off in this game. So, helter-skelter stuff, I bet. Brazil beat Ecuador 2-0 at home with Richarlison and Neymar Jr. scoring the goals. Brazil will host the 2021 Copa America, which starts this Sunday, and I am yet to make a prediction. I am yet to talk about it. I don't even know if I'll get to do something between now and Sunday. I don't even know. I'm not even sure. What about you?
Regarding
any prediction or anything?
Oh, for Copa America?
Yeah.
I think Brazil is an even stronger side now than the one who won 2 years ago. And in that tournament, they conceded 1 goal, which was a penalty in the final to Peru. I would be a little surprised if they win.
Does it even make any sense?
What do you mean?
To even predict the Copa America?
Well, other things have happened. Maybe hell would freeze over. Maybe the sky will turn green and the grass will turn blue. But Brazil should win this Copa America. I feel they should win this. This should be number 10 for them.
Exactly.
On home soil.
Exactly. Yeah. So to just finish off Conmebol during this international break update, Peru beat Ecuador 2-1 on the road with Christian Cueva and Luis Advincula scoring the goals in the 62nd and 88th minute. And Gonzalo Plata, very impressive winger who plays for Sporting CP, coming off of a win in the Portuguese league. And this has been, a rare win, a rare league win for Sporting. It's been a long time. I can't remember the exact years, but it's a couple decades since they have won the Portuguese title. So it's the same bunch of guys here for Perudo. So it's good that they have continuity. The players know each other, but they need to step it up though. But that was a good win against Ecuador. A very, very good Ecuador team. Very young and promising Ecuador team. Venezuela held Uruguay to a 0-0 draw. That's crazy, and I think this is the game you said. I did not get to watch highlights for this game, but you said there was a shady VAR call in here, and Uruguay, maybe they should have won.
Oh, no. That was the first game, Uruguay at home versus Paraguay.
Oh, so I'm just realizing Uruguay played to 2 0-0 draws during this window. God damn.
But now that you mention it, what's interesting is that in this game, Venezuela-Uruguay, Josef Martinez had a goal that was ruled back on VAR, which allowed Uruguay to escape. As to whether or not that was the right call, I don't know. I just looked at it briefly. That's what I saw.
I see. Colombia and Argentina played to a 2-2 draw. Christian Romero and Leandro Paredes scored 2 early goals, but Luis Muriel and Miguel Boya fought back, and Boya scored. Maybe it was a last kick of the ball equalizer to break Argentina's hearts there, to snatch a point late. Took 2 points from Argentina actually. And Brazil, they beat Paraguay 2-0 on the road with Neymar and Luis Paqueta with the goals, and then we had Chile and Bolivia played to a 1-1 draw with Eric Pulgar scoring for Chile and Triple M Marcelo Martins Moreno scoring a penalty for Bolivia. And next match day will be in September, where Bolivia play Colombia, Peru play Uruguay, Chile play Brazil, Venezuela Venezuela play Argentina, and Ecuador play Paraguay. And the fun will continue in the Conmebol region. So look, Football Pharaoh, any closing thoughts on Conmebol before we call it a day?
Well, did you want to do match day 9 predictions, or you want to
Not
leave it?
really. Nah,
Okay.
not really.
Okay.
We have
All right.
time. We do have time.
All
If
right.
you guys
Well,
have any predictions, you can leave it in the comment section down below. But we do have time.
closing thoughts. Brazil and Argentina, quite predictably a class above the rest, especially Brazil being a full 6 points even ahead of Argentina. Colombia, maybe we're already seeing the Ronaldo rate effect right away. They got 4 big points from this break, including a convincing win on the road to Peru. So maybe things are finally looking up for them. And the other sides, with Chile, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Uruguay, South American qualifiers. This is why we love them. It's always a dog fight. They're always, and for my money, it's the most competitive qualifying region in the world. Standings are typically close all the way until the final match days. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward for what's to come.
Woof, woof. We love a dog fight. So, guys, thank you for watching Football Pharaoh. It's been great having you on. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me again, Dom. You guys can find me on my YouTube channel, Football Pharaoh. You can also find me on Twitter, Football Pharaoh, at Soccer Pharaoh. That's at Soccer bottom score Pharaoh. Make status updates there quite often. Sometimes I'll mention things there that might not be mentioned on my YouTube channel. So definitely give me a follow if you want. And until next time, it was great to be on here.
I'll definitely give you another follow.
Thanks.
Oh, man. But, guys, it was fun. It was fun doing this. Nice having you on again. We will talk pretty soon where we have to do Asian, we have to do Europe, Africa, CONCACAF. We just going to have a World Cup qualifying frenzy here on the channel, running a nice little series here. And we're going to take this all the way into Qatar where we will be linking up. We will be linking up a lot during that event. I'm looking forward to it. It's come back so quick, right? When you think about it.
Yep, for sure.
Definitely. So, guys, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Like the video if you like it. And for everybody, Football Pharaoh and I, until next time, peace out.
Peace.
Rich Squad. Peace.